Have you ever felt like some vehicles have a soul? That they're not just machines, but witnesses of a golden era when automotive design was art and every curve had a purpose? Today, we're traveling straight to the 1950s, a decade that gave birth to some of the most beautiful, iconic, and unique American pickups the world has ever seen. This video is loaded with nostalgia, classic design, legendary engines, and vehicles that left a lasting mark. And the best part? Many of these trucks can no longer be found on the road. They're true rolling treasures. So if you're passionate about classic cars, vintage pickups, automotive history, and rare machines that shape generations, you know what to do. Subscribe right now and hit that bell icon, because here we celebrate the very best of the past on four wheels. Give us a like if you've ever dreamed of having one of these beauties parked in your garage. And get ready, because what comes next will fill you with endorphins, gasoline, and memories. 1955 Chevrolet 3100. Have you ever stopped to look at a pickup and feel like you're not just seeing a vehicle, but a functional work of art? Because that's exactly what the Chevrolet 3100 represents. A machine that didn't just carry loads, but dreams, hopes, and the vibrant spirit of an America in the midst of transformation. The year was 1955. Families were filling the highways with excitement about the future. Television was starting to dominate the home. Rock and roll was lighting up the hearts of a new generation. And in the middle of it all, Chevrolet launched the second series of its iconic 3100, and the world simply stopped to look. And how could it not? Its rounded, almost playful design, with smooth curves and perfectly balanced proportions, marked a turning point in the aesthetics of pickup trucks. It wasn't just about utility anymore. This truck had style, elegance, character. The wraparound one-piece windshield, the new envelope-style hood, and its aerodynamic lines gave it such a charming personality that even today, spotting one at a car show makes hearts beat a little faster. Under the hood, the 3100 didn't disappoint. It came equipped with a 235 cubic inch inline-six Thriftmaster engine, producing around 123 horsepower. Sure, it wasn't a speed demon, but its reliability was legendary. For many farmers, shopkeepers, and workers of the time, this pickup wasn't just a tool, it was a loyal daily companion. And when paired with the 3-speed column-shift manual transmission, it was pure classic driving bliss. Here's a fascinating detail. 1955 was the first year Chevrolet introduced the now famous wraparound windshield design to its trucks, something previously reserved for their passenger cars. This was proof that the 3100 wasn't just made to work. It was made to be admired, and admired it was. Tens of thousands were produced that year, but what's truly remarkable is how many have survived. Did you know the 3100 is one of the most restored and customized pickups in the world today? Its shape is so charismatic, so universally loved, that hundreds of collectors have turned them into hot rods, restomods, and luxury builds blending vintage charm with modern performance. But even in its original form, it still takes your breath away. Its value today? A pristine example can easily sell for over $50,000. And if it's been carefully restored with original parts, it can go even higher. This wasn't just a truck. It was a statement of style, of trust, of pure nostalgia. Seeing one today is like watching an old photograph come to life. It transports you to a time when life was simpler, more honest, and every curve of steel had a soul. 1953, Ford F-100. Close your eyes for a moment and picture this. The sun is just beginning to rise over the horizon. The air smells of damp earth and gasoline, and along the gravel road, comes the deep, steady rumble of a pickup that's not just here to work, it's here to conquer. That's the Ford F-100, a truck that didn't just mark the beginning of a new era for Ford, but also a before and after moment in the hearts of classic vehicle lovers. Because yes, 1953 was the very first year Ford officially introduced the name F-100, replacing the earlier F-1 designation. But this wasn't just a name change. It was a statement of intent. Ford was ready to redefine what a pickup could be. More comfort, more style, more power. At first glance, the design of the 1953 F-100 radiates a calm strength. Its robust, almost sculpted silhouette combines straight lines with rounded curves, giving it an imposing yet refined presence. The wide hood, wraparound fenders, and single-bar grille created a clean, bold look, almost proud. This wasn't just a vehicle, it was a tool with attitude. Under the hood, Ford offered several engine options, but the standout was the trusty 239 cubic inch flathead Vive 8, producing 110 horsepower. That may not sound like much today, but back then it struck the perfect balance between strength and smoothness. There was also a 215 cubic inch inline six for those seeking a more economical option. Paired with a 3-speed manual or the available hydromatic transmission, this truck responded with admirable reliability. Here's something you might not know. In 1953, Ford completely redesigned the cab. The F-100 now offered more interior space, improved seating, and a more comfortable driving position. It was one of the first steps toward what we now know as dual-purpose pickups, just as good for work as they were for pleasure. In its debut year alone, Ford produced over 197,000 units, an impressive figure for the time. But what's truly remarkable is how the 1953 F-100 has stood the test of time. Today, it's one of the most popular trucks among Restomod enthusiasts, those modern restorations that keep the classic soul while integrating contemporary tech. Why? Because its solid chassis, timeless design, and versatile spirit make it the perfect foundation for any automotive dream. At auctions and in collector markets, a well-restored 1953 F-100 can fetch anywhere from $40,000 to $100,000, depending on condition, engine, and originality. And if it's been turned into a high-end Restomod, be prepared to see six-figure price tags. But now, I've got a challenge for you. A moment ago, we talked about the Chevrolet 3100, another gem from the same era, and you know how it goes? In every town and every garage, there was always that quiet rivalry between Ford and Chevy. So tell me honestly, which side are you on? The rounded elegance of the 3100 or the refined toughness of the F-100? Drop your answer in the comments. I want to know where you stand in this eternal showdown. 1959 GMC 100. Some vehicles shout at you with aggressive lines, and then there are others that simply pull up with style, give you a subtle sideways glance, and you just know they have nothing to prove. That's the kind of energy the GMC 100 brings, a pickup that didn't come to show off, but with every inch of its sculpted body made one thing clear: refinement can absolutely ride on four wheels. Unlike its Chevrolet 3100 sibling, the GMC 100 was always seen as General Motors' premium pickup line, and it showed in every detail. From the two-tone paint jobs and extra chrome accents on the exterior to the better-equipped and more comfortable interior, it just felt more mature. The 1959 design is a true visual treat. Soft curves combined with bold, straight lines, dual headlights up front that gave it a serious yet sophisticated look, and a chrome grille shaped like a subtle smile, like it knew something you didn't. This wasn't a truck for reckless teens. It was for someone who understood the value of a job well done and arriving with style. Under the hood, the GMC 100 came with several options: inline-six engines like the Thriftmaster 270 or the more powerful 336 cubic inch V8, delivering around 220 horsepower, more than enough for hauling, towing, and still offering a smooth ride, thanks to its independent front suspension, a rarity for pickups of that era. And you know what made it truly unique? Many of its components were exclusive to GMC, not shared with Chevrolet. From its Pontiac-sourced V8 engine to the unique dashboard and interior touches, the GMC 100 had its own identity: more robust, more refined, more serious. Only around 85,000 units were built in 1959, making it far less common than other trucks of the era. And over time, that has given the GMC 100 an irresistible air of exclusivity. Today, a fully restored GMC 100 can fetch anywhere from $60,000 to $90,000, depending on condition, originality, and options. But here's the best part. For some reason, GMC has always been the hidden gem. While everyone rushes toward Chevys and Fords, the true connoisseurs look at GMCs with a knowing smile, because they know this is the truck not everyone has, but everyone admires when they see one. 1957 Ford Ranchero. What happens when a carmaker dares to break the rules, when they decide a car doesn't have to be just a car and a pickup doesn't have to be just a tool? In 1957, Ford launched a response that still sparks debate to this day: the Ranchero. Yes, the Ranchero was many things. It was a pickup, it was a car, it was a statement. But above all, it was a bold experiment that marked a turning point in American automotive history. Ford didn't just introduce a new model, they created a new category: the personal utility vehicle. From first glance, the 1957 Ranchero stood apart from anything else on the road. It had the sleek silhouette of a two-door coupe, but with a fully functional pickup bed. It blended the elegance of the Ford Fairlane with the practicality of a work truck. It was like wearing a tuxedo with work boots. The result? A bold design that sparked both love and controversy in equal measure. Under the hood, the Ranchero offered a range of engines, starting with the reliable 3.7-liter inline-six and going all the way up to a powerful 312 cubic inch V8, producing 245 horsepower. So it wasn't just stylish, it had muscle. And thanks to its unibody construction, no separate frame, it offered a smoother, more refined ride than any other pickup of its time. In its first year, Ford sold over 21,000 Rancheros, a modest success for such an unusual concept. But beyond the numbers, the Ranchero made history through its boldness. It paved the way for models like the Chevrolet El Camino and proved that at the intersection of utility and style, there was a new kind of driver waiting for something different. Today, a well-preserved 1957 Ranchero can fetch anywhere from $35,000 to $70,000, depending on configuration and condition. But its true value lies in its legacy. It was the first vehicle that dared to be two things at once, and did it with style. So now I ask you directly, what do you think about the Ford Ranchero? Genius or oddball? Visionary or unnecessary? Some call it a masterpiece. Others see it as a museum curiosity. Tell me in the comments, because if there's one car on this list that deserves to be debated, it's this one. 1954 Dodge C-Series. At a time when most pickups still had boxy shapes and plain utilitarian designs, Dodge decided to take the opposite route. In 1954, They introduced the C-Series, a truck that wasn't just functional, it was provocative. From its grille to its sculpted lines, this machine had a clear purpose: to stand out. And it did. One look at the Dodge C-Series told you everything you needed to know. Its front end featured a wraparound grille integrated into the fenders with an aggressive, almost defiant design. This wasn't the friendly face of most pickups of the era. This truck had attitude. The lowered curved hood, split windshield, and rounded cab gave it an almost experimental look, like a concept vehicle that somehow slipped into mass production. And thankfully it did. But beneath that bold design, the C-Series packed real muscle too. The 1954 model could be equipped with either a 218 cubic inch L-head inline 6 or the beefier 241 cubic inch Red Ram Vi-8, producing around 140 horsepower. In a body that was relatively light for its class, this translated to solid, reliable performance. And here's what made it even more special. It was one of the first pickups to offer comfort-oriented options like the custom cab, which featured improved ventilation, better seating, and upgraded interior finishes. It was Dodge's way of telling the driver, yes, you're working, but you can do it in style and comfort. Tens of thousands of units were produced that year, but over time, the C-Series faded into relative obscurity. Why? Maybe it was too ahead of its time, or maybe it simply got overshadowed by media darlings like Chevy and Ford. But today, collectors with an eye for design and rarity are rediscovering it with a twinkle in their eyes. A well-restored 1954 Dodge C-Series is a rare sight. You don't see it at every show. It's not sitting in every collector's garage, and that makes it even more desirable. Prices vary, but original or carefully modified examples can fetch $45,000 to $80,000. And the best part? It's still a well-kept secret, a design piece that doesn't shout but seduces, a pickup that, when parked among other classics, doesn't need to say a word to be the most intriguing one there. 1950 Studebaker 2R5. When you think of the 1950s, you probably picture over-the-top chrome, voluptuous curves, and grills that seem to smile. But Studebaker, that ever-restless nonconformist brand, decided to take a different path. And in 1950, they introduced the 2R5, a pickup that looked like it had been designed by a modern architect, not a traditional automotive engineer. The first thing that grabs your attention about the Studebaker 2R5 is its clean, minimalist styling. No unnecessary trim. Every detail has a clear purpose. The grille is low, horizontal, almost zen-like. The fenders are smooth, subtly integrated. The slightly curved windshield blends seamlessly into a compact yet harmonious cab. From certain angles, it looks more like a European concept car than an American work truck. But don't be fooled by its refined appearance. The 2R5 was as tough as anything else out there. Under the hood, it was equipped with a dependable 170 cubic inch L-head inline 6, producing 80 horsepower. Sure, it wasn't a rocket, but its lightweight build and mechanical balance made it agile and surprisingly efficient for its class. With a 3-speed manual transmission, it was a reliable companion on both rural back roads and urban streets. What's truly remarkable is that Studebaker designed this pickup with the driver in mind. The cab was more spacious than average, with large windows, improved visibility, and an ergonomic layout that flirted with luxury. For 1950, that was nearly science fiction. But as often happens with visionaries, the public didn't immediately get it. The 2R5 never sold in huge numbers. Overshadowed by giants like Ford and Chevy, just over 60,000 units were produced across the entire Studebaker truck line that year. Today, surviving two R5 models are true collector's gems, especially those preserved in original condition. A well-restored example can fetch up to $50,000, and those with all original parts can be valued even higher. But beyond the dollar value, what makes this pickup so lovable is its soul, its quiet way of commanding respect, its ability to turn heads without raising its voice. The Studebaker 2R5 is the kind of vehicle that makes time stand still, one that refuses to age, because, truthfully, it never fully belonged to its era. It was a leap into the future, made of steel, soft curves, and a rebellious spirit. 1956, International Harvester S110. Some vehicles are born to shine under the spotlight, to grace magazine covers and dazzle at shows. And then there are those born to work, to endure, to become a part of daily life for those who rise before the sun. The S110 is exactly that, a symbol of honesty on wheels. International Harvester wasn't a brand of glamour or luxury. It was a name built on reliability, with deep roots in the agricultural world. In 1956, the S110 line struck the perfect balance between mechanical toughness and approachable design. Visually, it was a rugged pickup, yes, but with a nearly friendly expression. The round headlights, perched on gently curved fenders, gave it a kind, accessible face, like it was always ready to lend a hand without ever complaining. Under the hood, it came with the Silver Diamond 240, a 3.9-liter inline-six engine producing about 130 horsepower. No, it wasn't built for speed, but it made up for that with legendary durability. Many American farmers swore these engines could run for decades with just basic maintenance. And best of all, they did it in the harshest climates and roughest terrains. The body design was boxy and functional, with flat surfaces that made repairs easy. The cab offered wide panoramic visibility and a high driving position, perfect for rural roads. But that didn't mean it lacked comfort. Deluxe versions came with vinyl upholstery, heating, and even chrome accents, a welcome touch of luxury for those who spent long hours behind the wheel. In terms of production, the International S110 didn't reach the numbers of Ford or Chevrolet, but it built a fiercely loyal customer base. It's estimated that just over 35,000 units were produced in 1956, many of which can still be seen working on Midwestern farms today. That alone is a testament to its resilience. There's something deeply charming in its authenticity. The S110 never tried to be something it wasn't. It didn't pretend to be elegant, futuristic, or fast. Its beauty came from its honest design, from its simple lines that spoke of purpose. And today, seeing one restored or even in original condition feels like discovering an untouched piece of rural history. In today's market, a well-preserved S110 can fetch between $25,000 and $45,000, though for many collectors, its sentimental value and history mean far more than any price tag. And there you have it, 10 American pickups from the 1950s that didn't just define a decade. They still turn heads and win hearts to this day. Some with elegant style, others with unstoppable grit, but all with the same powerful traits: soul, story, and character. Now tell me something, and be honest. Which of these gems made you sigh? Did one of them bring back a childhood memory? Or maybe a truck you were lucky enough to drive once? Leave it in the comments below. Seriously, your story, your opinion, your memory, that's the fuel of this community. And if you enjoyed this ride through the 50s, don't miss what's coming next. Click right now on our video about the most beautiful wagons of the 1960s. Get ready for another dose of timeless design, pure nostalgia, and cars that look like they rolled out of a postcard. See you there, and may the love for classics live on forever.